Don't worry. I'll take care of her through tonight.
What he didn't know was, I owned the company that paid his salary.
I'm 46, and for over 2 decades, I believe my marriage was unshakable. I run a metal workshop down in Tennessee where I build custom smokers. I'm talking heavy-duty steel beasts, the kind that are meant to last a lifetime. My hands are permanently stained with grease, and my clothes always carry the scent of smoke. To be honest, it never bothered me. Hard work is the language I understand. My wife, Jessica, though, she speaks a completely different one. She's all corporate marketing, branding, presentations, surrounded by polished people with polished smiles. For 23 years, we managed to exist as total opposites. I was the one who raised our 4 kids, built my business from the ground up, and I genuinely thought the distance between our 2 worlds was something we could handle. Turns out I was dead wrong. It started subtly. For years, she'd stopped inviting me to her company events. Her excuse was always that I didn't fit the culture. She'd say my jokes were too rough around the edges, that I didn't know how to network with her colleagues. I let it slide. I trusted her. I put my energy into the kids, into my work. I built smokers while she built presentations I never even pretended to understand. Then, out of the blue, she insisted no. She demanded that I come to her company's big holiday gala. There was no warmth in her voice, no excitement. It was that cold, firm, you-must-come tone someone uses when they need a prop, not a partner. The second I walked into that ballroom, I knew why she'd kept me away. It was a sea of glittering executives, and I stuck out like a wrench on a fine dining table. The judgment from Jessica's coworkers was barely hidden. And Jessica? She treated me like an inconvenient accessory she was forced to carry. Then he showed up. Tyler Hayes, perfect hair, perfect teeth, and an arrogance that was just as perfect. The moment he walked over to our table, Jessica's entire face lit up in a way that was too bright, too genuine to ignore. Their inside jokes started flowing so easily, so naturally, that I felt like I had just stumbled in on a private date. And then it happened. Tyler pulled a $1 bill from his pocket, flicked it across the table, and let it land right in front of me. "Don't worry, man," he said, that smug smirk never leaving his face. "I'll take good care of her tonight," the table erupted. Her coworkers laughed. Jessica laughed, and that sound, it hit me harder than any physical punch I've ever taken in my life. I didn't say a word. I just picked up the dollar, folded it neatly, and locked eyes with him. I gave him a stare so cold it could have shut down the entire room. "Thanks," I said, my voice low and steady. "Down payment for your hospital bill." The entire ballroom went silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Without another look at Jessica, I turned around and walked out. She didn't follow. She didn't call. Jessica didn't come home that night. That single moment was the beginning of the end, but it was also the beginning of the truth. I didn't sleep a wink. Not because I was heartbroken, waiting for her to come home, but because I saw the notification pop up on my phone. 147A, Riverside Grand Hotel, a charge for $387 on our joint account. The very same hotel where the gala was held. The very same night she didn't come home. When Jessica finally stumbled through the door at dawn, she was wearing Tyler's monogrammed suit jacket, her makeup smudged from the night before. She tried to smile, tried to act like nothing was wrong. The excuses started immediately, a late meeting, crashing on a coworker's couch. She even tried to blame a curling iron for the very obvious hickey on her neck. A woman who, in 23 years of marriage, had never once burned herself with a styling tool, suddenly has a curling iron accident? Please, I saw the truth plain as day, long before she could bury it under her mountain of lies. By noon, I had changed every single lock on the house. When she came home that evening, ready to walk back into her life, her key didn't fit. Panic washed over her face. She yelled. She banged on the door. She demanded to be let in. I opened the door just enough to look her straight in the eye. "Jessica," I said calmly, "the lock stopped working." Just like our marriage. She tried all the usual tactics, feigning confusion. Outright denial, attempting to gaslight me into thinking I was crazy. But when she realized none of that was working, she switched gears. She started making demands. Half the house, half my business, spousal support. She wanted to legally drain every penny she could from me. I let her rant for a moment, and then I cut her off with a single sentence. Talk to your lawyer. Not me, because by that point I had already made a call of my own. I had hired a forensic accountant. And let me tell you, nothing prepares you for the moment you learn that the woman you loved and built a life with has been using your business account like her own personal wallet. We found over $40,000 spent in just 6 months. Hotels, lavish dinners, spa trips, expensive clothes. All filed under business expenses. Expenses that included luxury lingerie and weekend suites with Tyler. But it got worse. Then we found the transfers. Money being funneled directly from our accounts into a company owned by Tyler himself. She wasn't just cheating on me. She was actively funding the man she was cheating with, using my money. But the universe, it has a wicked sense of humor. That little consulting company Tyler owned. We did some digging. It was registered under a corporation he worked for. And that corporation was owned by another, larger company. A company that, as it turned out, was owned by me. He was working for one of my subsidiaries. He had no idea. He didn't know that the simple grill guy his girlfriend was married to was actually his boss. He didn't know that I was the one who signed his paychecks. The look on his face when he finally realized it, in the middle of a corporate meeting, was something I will never forget. I walked into that conference room, slid that very same folded dollar bill across the table, and said, "You're fired." It's framed and hanging on my office wall now. It's a reminder. A reminder that sometimes the end is just the beginning. It's the moment where everything that was wrong finally flips, and you get to start building something right, something strong, something that lasts a lifetime. Just like the smokers I build.